St Kilda versus West Coast. Scott McLaren holds the ball aloft, and we are underway at Subiaco. Cox in the ruck against Ackland. It's going to be a crucial contest. Fletcher with the first kick of the game, only as far as Clark. Gives a little handball off to Ball. Now Ackland to Goddard on centre wing. He's got some time to run. He's got some space in front of him as well. Goddard can go all the way to 65. Inboard looking for Fiora. Great start for the Saints. Good clean movement out of the middle. Luke Ball involved yet again. Goddard had the poise, he had the space. Blake laid a shepherd for him to open it up. Didn't hesitate, went short and found Fiora. And Aaron Fiora is a pretty good kick. He's booted 9 goals won this season. He'd be fancying his chances from here. St Kilda to get a flyer. Can't set the tone. Minor score. Missed opportunity there for the Saints. It's good movement forward. As I mentioned, the importance of a good start here can't be understated. It is vital that they get on the board early, get their confidence going.
St Kilda going man on man, not outriding on that kick out, just going with every single West Coast player.
McCoskey, short to Dean Cox, leads the competition in hit-outs to advantage this season. Such an influential player, and what a bonus it's been in the absence of Michael Gardner for Dean Cox to just blossom. Funny how football works sometimes. Embley down the line to Hunter. Gehrig stands the mark.
Been good like this, Hunter. Works up the ground, makes the opposition chase him all the time. So Rewald will have to keep an eye on that, or of course the big G train if it's going to be him.
Massive players down the line, goes towards Hansen, one-on-one with Maguire. Through the hands of Maguire, Hansen grabs him. Down it goes, Clark. Fiora. Tight to the line, we'll have a throw in, centre wing. Good work from the Saints man-on-man there, didn't allow the switch of play. Hemmed him down the boundary line and forced the result they were looking for.
We get some of those matchups right. Guerra and Chick are going to stand side by side. McCoskey's gone with Voss, and Goddard and Embley are getting to know each other pretty well so far.
In and under the pack, Banfield rips it out and then squeezes out a hand pass to Fletcher. On the up, Jones got a push in the back, should have got a free kick and does. Umpire thinks about advantage, it'll come back. Already made a change, the Saints. McQualter straight onto the ground to match up on Kerr, replacing Sam Fisher. That was after just 10 seconds of play. Crowd continues to build up, around 38,000.
It's a fair ask for a young boy coming to his first game to take on the likes of Daniel Kerr.
Lynch provides the long lead. Goddard gets back in his space and does well. So good to work that out nicely. Double teaming Lynch. Goddard looks for a runner out wide. That is Fiora. Doesn't get the best of bounces. McCoskey and Jones. There's Glass well up the ground. Kerr gets and goes and gives to Cousins. He's called to play on by Cox. Has a couple of bounces. The skipper reaches 50. Has an open goal ahead. And does he find it? No. Touched on the line.
As Chad Fletcher just looked like he was not sure where the football was going to cross that line. He's just gone for the mark here and carried across. Probably had to do that. St Kilda player was going to touch the football anyway.
Brendan Goddard with the kick in. A little hesitant. West Coast got a pretty effective zone going here at the moment. He's given the hurry up. So then he goes long, straight up the middle. Dangerous option. Stenglein read it, got across, took the mark. He's got Gardner inside 50 by himself, hasn't spotted him. Will go deep towards the square instead. Lynch is in there, 3 Saints up against him. And they zoned off beautifully onto Quinton Lynch. Hudson took the mark. Slight fumble from Raphael Clark. Goes out to Del Santo outside defensive 50. Inboard to Goddard. And the Saints patient in their own defensive 50. Don't want to concede early goals. Clark up the middle. He's now got some space to run. Wide open forward 50. Rewalt comes charging out. Kick won't quite make it. Nikoski one-on-one with Voss. Here's Embley at the back. Numbers here for the Eagles. They'd pushed back and built the defensive wall. Embley streams through the middle of the ground. Kicks towards 50. Gets it in quickly. At the back of the pack is McQualter. Kerr in there as well. Sampi on hands and knees, tries to farm it out and keep it alive. He's gang tackled, they hold it in. And a bounce 35 metres out from the West Coast goal.
St Kilda very aware on how fast West Coast have been getting out. Getting started very quickly, just making sure man-on-man football, accountable football.
Stone got the tap, went straight to Fletcher. He lines up and delivers the opening goal. Chad Fletcher, we mentioned his form, averaging 23 touches a game, and now has booted 7 for the season, adding goal kicking to his repertoire.
I'm just talking about accountable football, and the one they let go is Chad Fletcher. They seem to do this all the time. They just don't show this guy enough respect. You would be a coach, you would just say you must keep an eye on Chad Fletcher. You can't afford to give him 1 metre, let alone 3.
Chad Fletcher adding goal kicking to his repertoire this year. Booted 7 goals, 13 for the season last year, the entire season. He's already kicked 7-2 this season.
Got picked off at the first centre bounce by Brett Voss and wasn't happy with his treatment. Well, he's responded quickly. Kicking the opening goal of the game. Cousins has been busy. Stengline off 1 step to the front of the square. Raf Clark back. Did well under pressure. Ackland put his body in. Hayes. Baker went without it. There's Fletcher underneath the pack. A high tackle to Fiora, backside of the centre square. St Kilda can set up. Revolt is the target from the ball kick. Hunter just nudged him under it. Nikoski back. He'll want the boundary line. Disguise that too well, but got away with it. 60 metres out from St Kilda's goal.
Adam Hunter did that very well with Rewalt. You're just going to have to keep very, very close to him. Not trying to beat him in the air. Just moving him underneath is very good work.
Cox rose his own footy, gives to Banfield a new lease of life, the veteran. Good kick, spearing kick. Hanson. Very open forward line. The only 2 men inside for West Coast. Lynch and Gardner. They change direction, and Embley. Cousins gets rid of Thompson and then makes up some space. Goes short. Lynch dropped it. Then a problem. Jones gathers the loose footy. Ordinary kick. Misses the lot.
Eyes lit up for Brett Jones. He's kicked 1-5 in his career. Saw goal number 2 on the way. But he sprayed it.
What a huge chase by Fraser Geary. You can see him just lumbering back at the moment with Darren Glass. But a huge effort to go up there and try and take on Cousins.
Raf Clark looks like being the primary rebounder in the absence of Aussie Jones this afternoon. He'll be that sweeper. And Ackland has it just outside defensive 50. Looks up. West Coast man-on-man everywhere with 1 loose man back. Voss, Blake off their hands. Fletcher to tidy up. Here's the loose man, Jones. Gives it to Braun. Goes for a run. Chips to Kerr. Was tidy. He dropped it. Under pressure's got Cox. Gives a handball. And Cox goes long inside 50. Gardner has his man beat. Couldn't quite haul it in. At ground level, the big man. Hudson runs him down. Good pressure. Did he get in his back? Umpire calls play on. Everybody stop. And ultimately we will have a bounce.
Well, did it pretty well, Maxie, but really, for me, it was definitely in Gardner's back.
It's a fair indication that all players stopped, not just the West Coast players. Play on. Here's Sampi at the back, keeps it alive, gets around Hudson and kicks a goal. Well, that won't please Grant Thomas.
Almost like the St Kilda players had just accepted that football was going to go over the line for the minor score. Sat back, stopped playing the game of football. Not Ashley Sampi, he was well and truly on top of that.
It was clever not to kick at the first release as well, wasn't it? He realised the angles were wrong and Hudson would have smothered it. Went to kick it, hauled it back in before he let it go and waited for the right opportunity. Very clever play.
West Coast doing all the attacking. Cox wins it down. Saints with numbers on the up. Hayes Rolling ball to centre half forward. Revolt, kick around the corner. Here's Guira. Has Gehrig. Errant hand pass. Fletcher being busy. Took a long time to get rid of it. Strong tackle from the Saints. Banfield. Chick gets a great shepherd from Banfield. And then runs the ball. Fletcher again. Possession 5. Looks up. Good vision. Sampi loose on the wing. The Saints messed that up. They had plenty of ball and also open space inside their 50 there with Gehrig. Now it's at the other end through Lynch. Does well, keeps possession, gets away from Hudson too easily, kicks to the front of the square. Gardner demands front spot, does well, roves his own ball, should go to Hansen. He'll stroll in. Third goal to West Coast. On fire.
The Gardner-Stone matchup is the worry. He's just not big enough, and they're devoid of options down there at the moment. Luke Penny out of the side through injury, but you can just see Nick Stone tentatively one-on-one against Gardner, and obviously John Worsfold's pushed him deep to isolate him.
And also the other worry's got to be for St Kilda is Max Hudson going with the big unit. I mean, you've got to be giving away at least 10, 15 kilos to Quinton Lynch, and he is going to be very hard to beat.
So the Saints defence undermanned in terms of size. And at the moment, West Coast taking advantage. They're moving it quick and direct. They're creating space inside their forward 50 to give the likes of Gardner and Lynch an opportunity one-on-one.
Getting great rebound from their half-back line as well.
In the middle of the ground, St Kilda start to need winning some clearances here. Peckett, ball, handball over the top to Del Santo. He's kicked 1-9 for the season. Nick Del Santo goes for home, almost there. Good effort from Chick. Rushes it through.
Well, the forward line structure is giving St Kilda the opportunity. If they can win it from the forward line, they've only got 4 players playing in the forward half for St Kilda. Very open forward line structure.
On the official stats, that goes as a behind to Nick Del Santo, which I think is a bit harsh. It should be a rushed behind, because if the hand of Chick hadn't have got there, it would have gone through for a goal. But I digress. Here's Nikoski from half back.
Should have used the pencil.
Cousins towards half forward. Hansen. It's one of the great anomalies in stats at the moment. I don't understand it.
And you would know that. And you would know.
Someone will explain it to me one day. Here's Hansen. Go towards 50. Lynch will attack this contest. Gardner in there as well. 2 very big bodies. And West Coast again with quick, long kicking inside their forward 50. To get these guys one-on-one, it creates an enormous mismatch.
And talk about big bodies. Again, Hansen doing it very well. Just held onto the football, had a couple other options. Didn't rush it. Looked for his 2 big targets. They presented. He delivered.
Gardner missed last week with a knee strain. Back in the side this afternoon. Chance to kick his 4th goal for the season from just outside 50. Gives it a launch. Looks pretty good off the boot. Is pretty good off the boot. The Eagles have got 4.
St Kilda are well and truly aware on how well the opposition have been starting. They went man on man. They try possession football. At the moment, they just cannot get their hands on the leather. That is the important part. St Kilda need to start winning it from the middle, as they did the last bounce where Del Santo had an opportunity. Daniel Chick made sure it was only a rush behind.
Four goals in 9 minutes for the West Coast Eagles. And they're going to go forward again, man in. Might have been Goddard coming off the far wing. Dean Cox. Sampi's provided plenty off half forward. He's worked up well onto the wing. That's a terrible kick. But it went to the right man. Judd just gets away from Baker. Runs inside 50. Goes by hand Butler. On the ground for Jones. Was taken high. No free kick. Tripped. Embley. And then Judd wrapped up in a tackle and let the ball up about 45 out.
Sam Butler there. Definitely taken high by Peckett, but let that one go through to the keeper.
Ball read that well from Cox. Voss hit the pack hard, did well. Gehrig stayed on the ground with the right boot. Not his strength. Next to the forward 50. Hunter under enormous pressure. Revolt did well. Ball ricochets back to Guerra, to Hayes. Voice out wide was Fiora. Favoured by the left boot. Aaron Fiora.
Been reasonable towards his goal since he came over from Richmond for St Kilda. So far, 2 blemishes. Of course, 1 point. Now one well and truly missing the lot.
Saints need to settle. Just need to get into a rhythm here. They've been swamped early. Nikoski across the face of goal. Embley got one in the back. Came down and may have hit his head on the ground, has he? He looks a bit groggy. Yeah, I think we'll find that Andrew Embley at the moment's just got the cobwebs. You're seeing the little birdies and the stars flittering around. He must have hit his head on the ground. Got some pressure in the back there from Goddard. Let's have another look. Landed awkwardly and whack. He's feeling none too good at the moment. Got the jelly legs as Andrew Embley.
It's a tough boy, young Andrew. He'll be fine. It'll just give him a little bit of time to make sure the stars just disappear from ringing around his head.
Well, they're calling for the stretcher, and rightly so. Out it comes, so play will stop. He's right just next, almost literally next to the West Coast race. I imagine he'll probably be taken straight up the race and assessed in the rooms. Coming on for his first run in football is Daniel McConnell. 26th pick in the 2003 draft. West Coast took him with their 3rd pick overall from Vermont in Melbourne's east. Andrew Embley out of action temporarily at least. Heavy collision with the turf. This gives the Saints a chance now to just regroup. They've come together as a huddle in the middle of the ground. Many of their players, their forward and midfield units. Stephen Milne into the game for St Kilda as well. You can see there, centre of screen. Just need to reassess, settle down and get back into their rhythm. Start to play the game on their own terms a little bit.
Young McConnell, it's amazing, isn't it? He's coming in as really as a midfielder. He stands 190 centimetres. So that's a big boy, isn't it, really, for a midfield role?
He's got a similar build. He certainly will once it develops a little bit more to a Jared Waite or a Brendan Goddard, that tall midfielder which has come through, which is extremely difficult to match up on and a very, very valuable commodity because you can play as a rangy flanker or he can go into the middle of the ground as a pure ball winner.
He's got a nice set about him too. It's not like he's a light boy. He's just underneath 90 kilos, so he's going to definitely be able to split packs open at the same time. It's a nice size for an 18-year-old.
For an 18-year-old indeed. Play restarts. Chick down the line and finds Dean Cox. West Coast playing the huddle at centre-half back. They scatter now. Cox toe pokes it forward, and here is the youngster. Big cheer for Daniel McConnell, first touch in league football. It's tidy to Braun. They switch play towards the broadcast side. Revolt had to go the punch at ground level. Cousins grits the teeth, tries to get there, can't do so. Good heavy hit from Andrew Thompson. Banfield comes in to remonstrate. We'll have a throw in. 18.5 minutes gone. It's the Eagles by 23 points.
Ackland working hard, front spot, but straight to Bruns, to Stengline. Banfield again, left foot, spearing kick. Lynch gets it. And you can hear the collective joy around Subiaco Oval that he's hung on to the football onto his ample chest.
He'd be dirty if he didn't grab that. That kick from Banfield was just absolutely picture perfect. That was dynamic. The way he just took that footy. Can't say he was ever the greatest kick when I played with him, but he certainly made that very easy for the big unit.
Distance not a problem, accuracy, it's the question. And he's answered with a miss. Hook.
Well, 2-tower attacking zone of Gardner and Lynch is certainly working out for West Coast at the moment.
Hodgson inside his defensive 50. So the Saints approaching time on, just the 2 points on the board, trailing by 24 points. Spoil came from Hansen, then rode his own ball to Fletcher. Well done, McQualter. Strong tackle, forced the error. Judd, back up to Fletcher, to Butler. Gardner in best position. Play on, well done, Hodgson. last line. They work it out well, the Saints. That was brilliant play by Hutchinson, who was out of the contest, gives it to Del Santo.
From half-back, puts it out in front of the running Luke Ball. Got Banfield to beat. Banfield gets to the front, takes it to the line. St Kilda can't suddenly manufacture some big key defenders. It's not going to happen. What they need to do is restrict the supply and give themselves time to get some numbers back to help out the likes of Hudson and Stone.
Yeah, well, I think they've already done that by looking at their forward structure. They've only ever had 4 players inside their forward attacking zone. So they've definitely got their half forwards playing a long way up the ground, trying to slow this match up.
Cox ripped off the ball. They'll have a ball up. Justin Peckett, Brett Voss, boundary side. Their side trails by 4 straight goals as we tick in a time on in this opening term. Just the start St Kilda were looking to avoid. 3 and 4 man up in that contest. Fletcher again, hands on the football for his 7th touch. Kerr did well through traffic, explodes away into space. Hayes to run him down, puts some pressure on, forces the kick wide. Lynch up in front, good punch away from Hudson. They'll have a throw in just outside the forward 50 for West Coast. Inside 50s 11-4 in the opening 21 minutes of this game. An overall possession 62-36. Andrew Embley in the rooms with expect to be some concussion after knocking himself out on the ground. Cox combines with Lynch. And the big 3. Cox to Lynch to Gardner. That's the thing about big men. When you're getting the ball in quickly and the supply is good, they are invaluable. It's only when they're not taking marks and opposition sides are getting it back and being able to rebound against them that they struggle. So at the moment, with the supply they're receiving from this West Coast midfield, who are on top, all sorts of headaches for Grant Thomas. Gardner from 50. His last kick was a good one. That one looks to be heading left and misses.
Just overstretching for distance, the big fella. Launched into that football. Just not being able to keep it on target. We spoke about these matchups with Lynch and Gardner at the start of the game. It's going to make it very hard for St Kilda if they don't slow it up. Again, they'll play this possession style of football, just trying to slow this match up.
Lenny Hayes has it now. There is some concern for Matt Maguire. He's certainly indicated to the medical staff right leg, maybe a kick in the calf or some sort of muscle injury, but he's certainly not moving that well. He's on Hansen. The Saints will work it out. It's Fisher. Guerra on the wing. Chick, as he's done so often this year. Had a tough one last week against Williams for Hawthorn, but he's pretty strong and he was intent on destroying that footy over the line. Adkins on for Ashley Sampi, and ball's on centre wing. Here's Braun, quick give. Guerra crashed into him. Judd, flashing red boots. Adkins just on the ground. Gardner clears him and Stone. Cox to the boundary line. He was out. Did well to try and keep it in. Boundary up on the seam. Another throw in. But again, the Eagles just camped inside their forward 50. They lead by 25 points.
And Grant Thomas is continuing just to try and slow the game up by pushing his players right up the ground. They only have 1 player based inside their forward 50. Milne, Brewald, starting on the attacking side of the square.
Luke Ball off the ground. Stenglein wrapped up in the tackle. Have a ball up. Peckett on. Banfield's done a good job on Luke Ball. Luke Ball. 4 possessions.
All starting at the clearances. Clearances 10-4 in favour of West Coast, and they're using the football so well. St Kilda just can't get into the game.
Crowd in excess of 40,000 now, and they're enjoying what they're seeing so far. If you're an Eagles fan, here's Thompson. Work it out okay here, St Kilda. McGough to Stone. It's the next kick that's been the problem. There's the kick to centre wing, Milne, and there it is again. Although it does land in the field of play. Makes good ground, but certainly nothing to go to.
He's got to keep doing that, Stone, at the moment. He's run a couple of times off Gardner and given St Kilda opportunity. He's got to keep working that way because Gardner's going to be underdone.
The applause you hear is for that man, Andrew Embley. He's recovered quickly from a heavy knock to the ground. Went off on the stretcher 3 or 4 minutes ago, but he's okay. Here's Milne under pressure. Makes good ground with the kick to half forward. The Eagles have numbers. Revolt is completely outnumbered 4-1. Setting him a task a couple of times now, St Kilda with their disposal. Andrew Embley's just itching to get back on. He might have to wait till quarter time.
4.5 minutes remaining until the first break. Blake's in the ruck now. Ackland having a spell. Peckett went looking for McQualter. Couldn't quite get there before the boundary line did. Have another stoppage.
And we've had plenty of that in the last 8 minutes since Embley went off. Really has slowed the Eagles down. St Kilda doing a reasonable job now, just trying to fight their way back into the game.
Well, they realise they've got to at least break even in the clearances. As if West Coast get first use of the ball this afternoon, St Kilda will spend their afternoon chasing blue jumpers. Revolt, one-on-one against Hunter. Hunter got a fist to it. Guerra comes in again, hell-bent on destruction. They need a bit of vigour, the Saints. He's given away a free kick on that occasion. They just need a spark to get them up and going. At the moment, this game completely being played on West Coast terms.
It's fantastic when he's hard at it, Guerra, but he's got to give away free kicks. That's his second free kick from just trying to get too much contact on.
Here's McConnell. Second touch for the first gamer. That one not quite so tidy. Glass and Gehrig have yet another throw in. Saints have halted the charge, and that's because they are getting first hands round the stoppages. The last 3 clearances have all been St Kilda's. Makes a heck of a difference. West Coast are so good at exploding away from the congestion and using the wide open space with their fleet of runners. A free kick plucked out of this one by the non-controlling umpire. It's going the way of the Saints to Goddard for over the shoulder. In fact, it's coming back to McQualter, rather. He's got it 65 from home. Goes short. Not a good option. The Eagles have peeled back off the stoppage to fill the space. It's good disciplined football. And Lynch got it right on the chest. Called to play on now. Confronted by Gehrig. Bangs it on the boot out wide. Cousins leads Thompson to the ball. Guerra against Chick in there as well. It's a 2-on-2. Chick will get there first. Thompson throws himself at him. Chick broke the tackle. Boot to ball. Hansen versus Maguire. Spills to the back for Hansen if he can get down and pick it up. Good body pressure from Goddard. Support from Cousins. Handball to the run of McConnell. Now to Hansen. He's run down by Maguire. Saints scrapping hard. Atkins feeds it back towards Judd. Breaks one tackle. Gets around onto his right boot. Judd from 70 out. Goes to the pocket. Kerr in best position. It pitches in front of he and Clark. Coming through hard was Stone. Wrapped up his Kerr. Somehow got out of that. Still going Daniel Kerr. From 52 metres it was over the line as he kicked it. It will be a throw in. Just as he dropped it to his right boot, it went over the line. And it will come all the way back for a throw in about 50 metres out from the West Coast goal. The tempo lifted in that passage of play. St Kilda scrapping desperately across half back.
Just a Houdini act really for Daniel Kerr. Put his head down, went inside to a pack, just popped out the other side. Beautiful work by keeping your feet.
He did all the hard work and then ran out of bounds with a footy. Try and work that out. There's the throw in. 50 metres out. The Eagles again attack. McGough. Blake. Del Santo took a long time. Tackled by Cure. Crowd one holding the ball. Banfield enjoying a rest.
Did well to turn him there and not get into his back and give away a free kick, Daniel Kerr.
25-point margin. Saints rarely looking dangerous up forward. Blake went without it. Hayes able to tie this ball up.
Chris Judd is getting a little frustrated and just took a little backward swipe at Stephen Baker's close checking tactics.
Which Baker's fantastic at. He'll just niggle away all day. Baker, Judd just needs to concentrate on the footy. Baker will slow up as the day will go on.
McGough read it off the hands of Lynch and then he's given a 360. There is Chris Judd. Lynch missed it. Braun gathered, but Saints have numbers. McQualter went to give, then decided not to, then went to give again. Better effort second time around to Thompson. Ordinary kick. Terrible kick against that re-roll of Taj. He did well. Met it chest on and gave it to Peckett. He was held without it. Should have got a free kick and didn't. Didn't have possession for mine. Hunter's kick smothered down by Revolt. Has one bounce. Has a second. He's worked hard in the opening quarter. Hasn't had much reward for effort, but he does this time. Goal! Brilliant stuff.
was the first time that Rewald's actually been given the football on the full, and it was actually by the opposition. Adam Hunter has just whacked that on the boot. Oh, thank you very much. Birthday time for the big fella. The superstar goes in and kicks a lovely goal. He's been presenting all the time, Rewald. The ball's been over his head, at his feet. Hasn't been a great start.
Well, the first step for St Kilda was getting hands on the ball around the contest. They managed to hold West Coast momentum. West Coast had booted 4 goals in 9 minutes, but in the last 9 minutes they went goalless, and now the Saints have managed to turn the momentum their way. Suddenly the margin just 19 points, and they're back in the contest. McConnell sweated on by Thompson. First game of McQualter. Quick hands. Goddard shrugged a tackle. Shrugged 2, shrugged 3. Brendan Goddard did well. Saints now growing in confidence. They've settled and can now start to play on their own terms. Goddard slips away to half forward. 33 seconds remaining on the clock, but numbers back for West Coast. And Nikoski saves the day. So a much better last 10 minutes of this quarter after being swamped, the Saints. They've just stopped the rot. And can get to quarter time and regroup fully as Chick goes down the line and finds McConnell coming up for his 4th possession. Down the line, 2-on-2. Ball hits the deck. Staker started on the bench. Handball to Braun. And the siren sounds for quarter time.
He indicated that at about the 20-minute mark to a trainer that he's had some problems. That's a big body blow to St Kilda. Key position player already in trouble.
Eagles by 19 points as we start the second term at Subi. Ackland wins it himself. High ball towards centre half forward. Coming out was Milne. Good bounce for Hayes. He'll be run down. Look at the numbers there for West Coast. It was 4-on-1. Jones got Cannon into his back. Play on, said the umpire. And a bounce at the forward 50 for the Saints.
The course of square again. He just gets in there. He just loves that. I must admit, in football, it's just one of the great things to watch is people throwing on a body clash, and he just is one of the specialists.
McQualter with 3 clearances in the first term for the Saints. That's a massive positive. And here's the other first gamer, McConnell. Towards half forward. Fisher went one-handed, couldn't quite reel it in. At ground level, Clark floated through the tackle. Fisher to Ball. Under some pressure, will get run down. Released a handball. They're working hard. Goddard will come back. Free kick to Luke Ball.
Yeah, Kerr gave treatment. A bit of treatment to Luke Ball behind the play, no doubt about that.
And the Saints get off the hook because they were under enormous pressure. Goddard will go towards Raf Clark, who peeled off his man. Banfield gets back. The kick hung in the air a long time. Fisher at ground level. Went looking for Hayes. Sampi the one-handed pickup. Clark in there again, working hard for St Kilda. Hayes at ground level, tried to farm it to Fiora. It was picked off by Braun. Now Cox. Fletcher pokes it down the line. Voss gets across. Put his body on the line. Umpire said he didn't quite hang on to it long enough. And it will be a throw in.
It's well done by Daniel Kerr, just getting his hand in there to get a contest. Giving a 50-50 ball, and he could have just laid up there and just let Voss take that footage. Just got in there, made sure there was body contact.
Luke Ball just didn't release the first time, did well on his knees to give it to Ackland. Peckett and Banfield. Been around a long time, that pair. Felt St Kilda worked their way back into that contest late in the first quarter. It was a loose hand pass from Hayes. Or Baker just put his head over the ball, knows no other way. Bent hard head on by Jones.
Let's look at the players now walking into this contest, man on man. No set play here. This is just who can find the footy from the floor.
Braun came from behind the contest and then gets it to half forward. With a throw in, so the ball certainly staying on the broadcast side of the ground.
They're just hanging in St Kilda now, aren't they, which is great. They're not allowing West Coast to get the clean takeaways they got early in the game.
Double-handed down by Cox. Ball again taken high.
Just going down in the tackle. Slip held there. Not a huge amount in that.
couple of high shots from Judd so far today. That one in the way of free kick to half forward. Rewalt up, spoiled by Hunter. Hayes hit it hard. Had to release. Jones did well, but again we'll have another throw-in. So number of stoppages. Bit going on McConnell and Baker. The youngster not taking a backward step.
Here's the agitator, Stephen Baker. We mentioned earlier they needed to get some vigour in their game. They've got that now, St Kilda. Got a real appetite for some body-on-body in close. They're enjoying the scrap. Player down off the ball. It's Baker.
Yeah, and McConnell was the nearest player to it. Don't worry about that. The first game, this free kick is not from that incident.
Coming back to Justin Peckett. Stephen Baker, that will just fire him up a little bit more. Whet the appetite for another contest. Chick stood tall. Rewalt crashed in from behind. There's a holding free kick. I think it might be going to the Saints. It is. Rewalt had the jumper tucked. Wants to move it quickly. Gehrig's on the lead. The G-Train's got it in the pocket. And the Saints are going all right here.
Well, it's just a bit of niggle. All they've done, Baker, a couple other players from St Kilda.
And he's right back into Judd as we speak, Stephen Baker, not letting up for 1 minute.
A little bit of retaliation going on. Eagles taking their mind off the football, just reacting to the niggle. And suddenly, St Kilda take possession. It's in the hand of their big fellas.
Gehrig, can he convert? Misses to the narrow side. Need to seize their opportunities, St Kilda, because at the moment, as you mentioned, they've got the Eagles distracted. And things have gone their way very much, even though it doesn't show on the scoreboard from midway through the opening term. The Saints have had a pretty good run at it.
They've just got to keep up the physical pressure, St Kilda. That'll start busting at the midfield of West Coast.
Jones, precise. He finds Banfield inside the line. Cox leads hard down the line. Banfield toying with the idea of switching play, but in the end he decides to go short to Judd, who just hangs onto it inside the boundary. Fifth touch coming up for Chris Judd, averaging 23 a game this season. To the wing. Gehrig will fly over the top and pluck it off the pack. Peckett peels off. Braun did well to corral him and shut that down. The switch was on. Braun read it beautifully. Here's Fisher in a tight space. It was tidy down the line to Ball. Ball will go high towards half forward. No tall timber there. It's Milne and Guerra, and Milne gets on the end of it. Well, the crowd's gone flat here at Subiaco. I'm sure you can sense that at home. And the Eagles just running a little bit flat at the moment as well as St Kilda
just
find their hunger.
Yeah, Mills direct played at Brett Jones. Didn't see it on screen at that time. Just going the other way. Took his eyes off the flight of the football. Just looked at his opposition player. Took his eyes off the flight. The ball changed in air. Milne, he read it. He saw the football. You've got to keep your eye on the football. Jones on that occasion let himself down.
And you've got to make the most of the momentum when they have it. They can reel this lead in quickly if things continue. They've got to take their chances. Milne from outside 50 tests his range, and he just tugs it left, going for that distance. And we see it weaken again. Sides have the run of play. They've got the momentum in the game, but if you don't put it on the scoreboard, opposition could go down and kick a goal against the flow and undo all the good work.
Might have been an innocent bystander, Daniel McConnell, a bit earlier. Certainly Chris Judd looks to be the player in the target of St Kilda players for Stephen Baker, going to ground behind play a few minutes ago. More on that later, I'm sure. Here's Hansen onto the loose ball. Loops a hand pass over. Fletcher hadn't lost it. St Kilda have a chance. The ball again comes out to Braun, throws it on the left boot. Barely travels the required distance in the end, didn't strike it at all well. Fiora grabs and goes. They're breaking for him out wide.
Guerra by himself.
That's the direction the kick will take. He's worked hard to the centre wing. Rewalt trying to get loose. It's been called to play on now, Guerra. Will come in board to McGough. Margin 17 points, and the Saints are going okay. Goes back to Goddard. Traverses Subiaco. Braun bearing down. All of a sudden they've cut off Revolt's lead on a couple of occasions, and in the end Kerr chipped in and took the mark. And in transition they're away the West Coast, although Lynch has to give it everything to try and reach the long target in Gardner. Inside 50, Gardner. Well done, Voss. Put his body across. Rode though by Sampi. Already kicked one, Ashley Sampi, and he won't kick a second with that. In fact, he's missed a lot. And Andrew Embley is back on the ground. He served his time. Got to the 8-minute mark, in fact. He comes on to play on Goddard. And McConnell sits down the youngster. He's going okay. 6 possessions.
He can square the football up. Ashley had visions of grandeur. I think he could put that through. Would have been a tough or a magic goal if he'd actually managed to slot that one.
Brad Johnson set the bar high this year for the goal of the year, so you're going to have to try something special. Fisher to the wing, going back with a flight. Good mark, well judged by Brett Voss. Down the line, nothing really presenting. Rewalt does now on a long lead towards the wing, but Jones will get there first and cut it off. It's the one area that the Saints need to improve is their delivery going forward. Their ball movement at the moment not quite where it needs to be. Great grab over the top by Fletcher. Good contested mark, 55 from home. Tidy pass out into the front of Lynch. Awkward bounce for him. Here's Embley at 50. Twists and turns. Turns Goddard inside out. Creates some space. Andrew Embley. That is beautiful. All class, Andrew Embley. He enjoyed that.
He just did it with absolutely pure perfection. Embley just took his time around the boundary line, made sure he didn't carry the football over the line, just held it there, took his time, steadied, didn't even go straight at it, kicked it around his body, made it very easy. Fantastic goal, Andrew Embley. West Coast caught with 5 players in the circle there. Daniel Kerr running out. Did a bit of a mix-up. St Kilda take the football.
Del Santo spearing pass. Chick to half forward. Hansen working hard. Well done, Fisher. Read it best. Ross. The long time gone. Got past the first tackle of Sampi. But not the second, and the Eagles will go forward again. They've worked hard, St Kilda. They still trail by 23 points. Ordinary kick from Sampi, a shocker in fact. Goddard just spirals it. Nikoski, clearly best position, had the size and position over Milne. Set up again. He's got numbers. Cousins and Butler, and they've even got time to drop it and then stroll forward. But Butler's kicking's often a problem. Gardner and Hudson. He's outsized Hudson, but just too good. Does well. Messy patch of play. Stone. Bit of class on the scene through Fletcher. Throws on the right boot. Embley. Goddard. Well done. Spoils. Ball. Speaking of class, does well. Gathers and has time for a bounce, but got a problem because there's not much to kick to, although Revolt worked hard to get to that contest, doesn't quite take the mark. Again, numbers favour West Coast, 4-on-1. It's been the case for much of the day. Short pass from Butler, again doesn't reach the target. Cousins back to Butler. Third kick, this is better, to the square. Gardner does well. Hudson reaches around and forces the spoil. But the Saints' defence under enormous pressure.
And every time they go out, St Kilda, they've just got one target going forward. If it's not Rewalt, they've just got nowhere else to go. They're getting turnovers too here. Every time West Coast go forward, talk about turnovers.
That hurts. And we're talking about momentum. West Coast seized it back with that Embley goal.
Well, St Kilda just kicking themselves. Every time they go forward, they're just missing target after target. You see rebound from West Coast giving opportunities. Just happens again. Just skills from a very good football side at the moment.
Judd off, Atkins on. Embley now for the daily double. He's already kicked a beautiful goal in this second term. Looking to give it off, but numbers shut down at the moment, so he'll have a set shot. Has got sublime skills, Andrew Embley. That one starts out to the right. Dangerous position. Gardner gets hands to it and marks.
Have a look at that in replay. Ashley Hansen can't continue wrapping this boy up anymore. He has just taken 2 players out here, allowing Gardner a free run of that football. Just too much tall timber, West Coast in their forward half.
Just as St Kilda were looking to work their way back into the game, Gardner kicks this and it's 5 goals the margin. Got to take your chances when you've got things running your way. West Coast have done it well this afternoon. St Kilda have done it poorly. It's as simple as that. And on the scoreboard, it's 5 goals the difference. Gardner gets his second.
Just talk about assists in the game of football. And that's all these other big fellas have to do. Hansen here just making competition. Attracts two players. Gardner comes over the top. Maxi Hutchins, nothing he can do there. He's the shorter of the three defenders for St Kilda. You're not going to beat a guy who's 5 inches taller than you all day.
Worrying look on the face of Grant Thomas. So the Eagles stretch the lead out to 5 goals. Lockie Reid, you've got an injury update, boundary side.
Yeah, I'll start with Matt Maguire. Of course, he hasn't taken his place in this second quarter. They're still working on his calf, Tim. And Stephen Baker spending a fair bit of time with the doctor with blurred vision.
14 minutes gone in the second quarter. Cousins on the burst. Hudgton. Ball gets past Stone, and Gardner, strong tackle, Staker on Voss. Ball spills, and with a throw in again, the Eagles deep in attack.
Big tackle. Just kept his eyes beautifully on the hips of his opposition. Fantastic play, that. Would have hurt.
Gardner. Cousins had 3 metres on that ruck contest. Thompson was lagging behind. Sampi caught flat-footed, lost it. McQualter was legged. No, in fact, he was taken high.
Close. Maybe his leg was up around his ear hole.
There might have been a piece of leg. Seen some gymnasts in my time. Kick to half, back, but again, St Kilda just not clean. Well, they'll work it out though. To centre wing, and Ackland will receive from Voss. Here's Revolt, just demanded that footy. That's a strong mark. Hunter won't let him go, and that's probably why Nick Revolt's trying to release himself, because Hunter's all over him like a cheap suit.
That's a strong mark. I mean, going side by side with the player and just taking that mark, that's very strong.
Gehrig's the target. Jones did well to chip it in front of him. The ball spills to me, and this is his bread and butter. That's what he's paid for, and he's going to get a free kick for a push in the back. He did miss. He did miss the kick. He got a push in the back. And Milne will go back and have a shot from 5 metres out.
Defending player, McCoskey. Probably didn't need to do that because that ball was already off the boot.
Played it well, Stephen Milne. Made more of it than it was, and that's what he's good at.
Nida, I think, is the
good enough. Good enough, and if he kicks the goal, work to Trent. There he is from 10 metres out, missed his first attempt, makes the second, a much needed goal for the Saints.
That's what he's paid for, little Stephen Milne. He's got to get the goals. And the forward line structure of St Kilda at the moment, he's actually starting at centre half forward. Rewalt starting just in front of the square with big Fraser Gehrig, of course, right back, starting on the full forward line.
Marching back to 24 points, and Kilda need to string some goals together. Played 17 minutes in this second term. Ackland in the ruck. It's been serviceable, as I mentioned, from about the 15-minute mark of the opening term. They've gone all right in the stoppages, the Saints. They just need to get their supply chain up and going forward to the centre.
It's going on behind play in the goal script, St Kilda's end, Revolt and Hunter.
We saw Revolt getting frustrated with Hunter's tactics a couple of minutes ago. Fraser Gehrig in there as well as the peacemaker. Got on. And again, the Saints will win one out of the middle. Peckett to the 50. Rewalt comes steaming out. Gets there on the bounce. Dishes off to Ball. Saints a chance here. They've got some space inside 50. Milne will have a couple to beat. Has to go early and does. Over the back. McCoskey spins through a tackle. Handball to Cousins. Good rebound from West Coast. Braun evades the lunging Gehrig. Good pressure though from Fraser. A good 60-metre sprint from him to just make sure the Braun kick didn't hit its target. Throw in centre wing as Thompson comes off for the Saints to be replaced by Jason Blake. And a niggle going on in this game. We like it. Lynch and Ackland. Crowd getting involved. Lynch got the hands free, went looking for Cousins. He's wrapped up by Peckett. It was a pretty tidy tackle in the circumstances. McGough. Judd over the top of him. Del Santo tries to poke it down the line but hits the fence. 5 touches for Nick Del Santo. And still the crowd getting involved in that contest. Rewalt, Hunter, Glass and Gehrig, a tag team, and there's another free kick off the ball. It's going the way of the Saints, is it? Play-on's the call now.
You hate to be a centre-half forward in this game. Every lead that has come from either West Coast forwards or St Kilda forwards in the last 10 minutes have all hit the ground. So the pressure is definitely on. You can see that by some of the skills.
And that's a passage left, best left not described. We'll just ignore that last 60 seconds and we'll throw it in and start again. Another free kick. The crowd booed because the umpire pointed the way of St Kilda, then realised he had his arm in the wrong direction, so the boos went to cheers. Free kick to West Coast. It's going to Lynch. 75 out from goal. Cousins peels off, gives him an option at centre-half forward. They go inside 50. Lunging to get there is Atkins. He's got it 45 metres out.
No problems with the distance. He can kick a long way for a little man and he won't have any intention of passing it, trust me.
And nor he should, Tim, like all good forwards. Cousins really just starting to slide away now, isn't he? He's just starting to pick up those possessions. It's just trickling up now. 11 touches, catching up Fletcher, who still leads the pack at 13.
Important kick as we tick in a time on in the second term. Adkins.
Oh, dear.
Something about distance.
To the top of the goal square and the mark taken by Blake. It was a big weight to carry. Tim Gossage's wrap.
Hang on, you said good forwards too. I don't know who's further from the truth.
And Hayes has it at half-back. He goes down the line towards Baker. Here's a chance for the Saints.
What happened?
Hayes down the line to Rewalt, having to get his football a long way up the ground, but such is the supply chain this afternoon. Goddard under pressure. Atkins in there. Ball did well at ground level. Got it out. Wore one for his trouble and is still down. Embley pokes it down the line and finds Cousins. Good ball in the hands of the trainers. He's up on his feet now. Here's Embley at 50. Can take them on again, Andrew Embley. Goes to the top of the square. Sampi, Gardner. Sampi and Gardner combine. It's still there, is it? I think it's a behind. It is.
The goal umpire didn't indicate it hit the post, but the field umpire did, I think. The field umpire was certainly indicating that it hit the post. Ball's going to come back.
Hanging on for dear life at the moment, the Saints.
The zone from West Coast working very, very well.
Voss. So we've gone 21 and a half minutes. And it is just a case of hanging on. St Kilda, they're down by 25 points, trailed by 19 the first break. A bit of intrigue in the game. There's a bit going on. Judd and Baker involved. That's just a poor kick from Hodgson to McQualter. The ball's gone over.
Doesn't help that they're missing Aussie Jones. He's their number one kick. They're the number one kick inside in the competition, St Kilda, this year. But Jones has taken 40 of 76 kicks. So they're used to a set pattern with him being the general down there. And you change that mix a little bit and it just creates a bit of confusion.
Train someone else who can do it when he's not there. Cox. Judd.
Thank you, Captain.
Baker slung. Heavy tackle from Baker. Butler. Raf Clark met Cousins hard. Pick up by Judd. They all want to tackle Chris Judd and Baker over the top. Had a bit going on. There's a bit going on between Rewalt and Hunter as Kerr now comes off.
Let's give you the opportunity though, Chris Judd. He does hang on to the football. Makes himself a target sometimes.
He's wearing red boots. Hayes. Peckett sold the dummy to Braun. Then kicks to half forward. Milne looking to feel whether Nikoski was there. Didn't take the mark. Clark went past the football. Banfield spoons a hand pass up to Fletcher. Stood up and got it back to Banfield. Had a great day, Banfield. Have not put a foot wrong. Stenblind to Braun. They run again. Here's Embley. Has a bounce. Long lead coming from Gardner. He's calling them to come towards him. He then kicks and straightens it up. Gardner and Staker. Gardner! One hand and shows it. He's popped a big fat.
The delivery of Andrew Embley. He's held onto the football. Gardner's let out into the pocket. He's called him back. Said, get back, I want you in front of the goals. He did that, held it beautifully. Hasn't let him down, the big fella. Just stuck out the big paw, protected himself. Stone had no answer. Talk about big units.
He kicks this.
Quick help off Hansen on.
He'll be pretty pumped. Michael Gardner strolls in for his third and kicks a goal. He likes a goal, big Michael Gardner. Thumbs up.
Certainly has pumped the big fella. Emily did this so well. Just held back there. Just knew what's going on. Get over where you should be. In front of the goals. And he's pumped that through with vengeance.
Margin out to a game-high 31 points as we tick over 24.5 minutes in the second term. Michael Gardner with 3 goals. The only multiple goal scorer in the game. Baker did well. Won a hot ball. Goddard towards half forward. Milne again having to present across half forward, and it's not a structure that's working for the Saints at the moment. Blake thumps it inside 50. Gehrig a chance one-on-one. Worked his man under it. Gehrig at the back. Tries to swing through the glass tackle. Can't do so. Chick piles in hard. Umpire lets it go. It's still going. Braun. He's taken down by Ball. Hayes in there sweating on it. And eventually the Eagles win out. Banfield to Braun. Twisted awkwardly. Got it to Chick. And the Eagles win the day. Staker to the wing. Awkward one. Did well. Picked it up beautifully. Clean. One-handed. Towards Cousins. Del Santo closing. Overcommitted. And Cousins is away. Goes to 50. Gardner again. Cousins and Gardner combined. And the big man can go back and kick for goal number 4.
They certainly know each other's moves, these two. Fantastic work, though. It's lovely to see the football hitting their targets. Staker, first of all, to Cousins. Cousins to Gardner. It's the first passage we've seen decent deliveries from players that are hitting their chest instead of the feet. So the pressure now just dropping off. That's an indicator. Watch out, St Kilda.
Going for his 3rd for the quarter and his 4th for the game. Gardner loves it. Four goals to Michael Gardner. The Eagles make their move. The margin out to 37 points. Andrew Embley has another spell. Played 26.5 minutes in the second term. Cousins 13 possessions. 10 of those uncontested. And 5 of them directly taking the ball inside 50.
It's amazing when Dean Cox really starts giving his players first use.
Five marks, 5 kicks, 4 goals, 1. Coming back from injury. Handy out of the goal square, Michael Gardner. Helped by the fact that Dean Cox is so dominant in the ruck. Fletcher to half-forward. Staker enjoying a purple patch. In and out of the side. Looks up. The lead will be from Hansen. The kick doesn't have enough on it. Voss back with the flight. Not much the Saints defence can do. The ball is just being pumped in there. Numerous occasions, all starting from the middle. Staker pretty aggressive on break. Advantage should be paid, and is to Hayes. Here's Revolt. Marks. Now Guerra's got off Chick. He's lost him completely, and Guerra's still on his own inside 50. Hayes backs up, goes for the chip pass. Well done, Glass. Spoils Gehrig. Gehrig's certainly not moving well, and his third chip behind play wasn't much in it, let me tell you, but he certainly did. Just give him one behind play.
Chick went straight over to Gehrig as soon as he dropped that mark and has got in his ear. Just there, you see it?
It's not much out. I mean,
very little.
Again, he's been hanging around Stephen Milne too much, Daniel Chick.
They're going to the same school.
Joined the VIS diving academy at the same time, I think.
Here is Jones to half forward. Hudson in good position, over the back. The ball came off the hands of Fisher to Staker. Can he get it? No, Walter did well, and then backed up beautifully with a front-on tackle of Sampi. The young kid McQualter has been valiant trier for the Saints today. Inside 90 seconds, West Coast lead by 37 points.
About 11 of the last 15 inside 50s, the Eagles. St Kilda had a good run late in the first and early in the second, but West Coast have been able to convert their run of play into goals, and that's been the primary difference. Here's Fletcher, tight angle on the left, clinical. Fletcher gets his second, summed up the situation beautifully, didn't rush himself, realised he had some time, and just hit it like he was hitting a pass, a full forward coming out, nailed it on the chest.
I know that West Coast have got a fantastic midfield and you can't cover them all. But now in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Fletcher comes from the back of the packs every time and delivers the football beautifully. I just don't know why they just want to persist on standing off Fletcher.
Chad Fletcher, 16 possessions, a couple of goals. Cousins 13, Braun 13 and Hayes 13 for the Saints.
What a fantastic performance, though, from a midfielder. 2 goals, 16 possessions, just keeps racking it up.
Throw 5 clearances in the mix as well.
Okay, we'll do that. Adkins. Del Santo hasn't been a great day for one of the Brownlow favourites. Possession 6. Gary hard on the lead. They've still got time. The Saints are at the right end of the ground, but he runs straight over at Fraser. There's Chicken. He was taken high. A little bit of frustration. Yeah, Fraser's not happy. Check. Is he cramping the cut?
I think it got cleaned up there by Guerra. Guerra came across, put a hit on him first of all. That's where he got it, just before that, and then the high tackle. But he was already hit by Guerra early.
Fraser Gehrig into Daniel Chick there as he's receiving some treatment, I think. Just getting frustrated is Fraser Gehrig. Dangerous time for him.
Yeah, maybe Fraser's just saying, look, I didn't tackle that hard, but definitely wasn't anything to do with the G-train.
Fisher nudged Staker under the ball. Dying seconds, the Saints will be grateful for half-time. They needed a quick mark. They get one? Yes, but it was Nikoski saving mark. So
here by himself with no one paying him any attention.
Third term at Subiaco, 43 points, the West Coast lead. They have not lost a quarter after half-time this season. Can St Kilda turn all of that around? Stenglein wrapped up by Ball. One of the best tacklers in the competition, Luke Ball. He's laid, well, only 2 players in the comp have laid more than him this season. Luke Ball, very, very fierce tackler. And we'll have a secondary bounce in the middle of the ground. More than 41,000 in. Cox palmed it down looking for Stenglein. Here's Judd, wrapped up by Hayes. We'll do it all again. It's all got to start from the stoppages for St Kilda. They must get first use of the football and get things going their way. They can get it inside 50, feed their key forwards. The likes of Milne and Guerra then able to feed off the crumbs, which at the moment have been pretty much non-existent.
Forward matchups haven't changed a great deal. We've got Glass going with the big Fraser Gehrig. Hunter staying with Rewalt.
Plenty of players around this one. It needed a third man up, and it was Fiora to the advantage of Ball. He's got a runner outside Del Santo. It's coming back. Free kick to the Eagles. There it is. Did look to get fist on it for mine. Cox towards the wing. Cousins works hard to get there. Guerra had a couple to beat. He kept his eyes on the football. The Eagles looked at each other. In the end, it was to no avail. Guerra shunted over the line and will have a throw in. 7 goals straight the last time these two sides met, and it was St Kilda by 101 points back in round 9 last season. Lots changed since then. Hayes received from Blake, now to McQualter. Inside 50, again we see Milne in a marking contest. To the front, Del Santo did well, gathered it beautifully. Rewalt's got some space, can feed it outside to Ackland. Awkward looking kick. And that's been kind. Throw in 25 metres out from the St Kilda goal. Again, when St Kilda have the football and they have the opportunity and have a bit of a run, they've got to make it count on the board.
Throw in, it's still in their attacking zone. Nikoski brushes past. Banfield close to best on ground from on. Now player down, St Kilda player down and hasn't moved. Collision there, I'm sure, with Banfield. Slow to get up, in fact not moved 1 inch. Now starting to get it together.
It's Brent Guerra.
His man, he's very, very jelly on his legs again, Guerra. He's taken many a step back. And his man is Daniel Chick. So he enjoys a bit of freedom. Everyone forward of this ball. It's a poor kick off the boot from Nikoski. There's Embley, already taken one heavy hit today. Gehrig, the recipient of the hand pass. It's a throw. The umpire was caught on the wrong side. No fault of his. Revolt has a bounce.
Nothing to kick to at all.
No. And then you have to change direction, and there was the problem. Looked up, and the only man forward really was Guerra, and he was still with the trainers. He changed direction, went for size in Ackland, but Jones did well.
And Ackland's coming out of full forward. He was up there to try and get a mismatch against Jones. Don't know why he's coming so far down the ground. Thomas has no doubt done that to try and emulate the move of Gardner to full forward for West Coast.
Guerra is running towards the bench. He still doesn't look too good. Here's Blake. Short to McWalter. Like his game on debut as Guerra runs off the ground, looking a little ginger. And Baker and takes the mark. Judd stands the mark, and they may meet again later in the week.
Boss in the centre square. Blake, good running from him down the far side. He's got some space to look up. Milne leads to the pocket. Revolt's there as well. He's in trouble now. Got to get away from Braun. Embley picks it off. He who hesitates is lost. Braun. Banfield. West Coast sweep it forward. Cousins have got some overlap run. St Kilda have lacked it today. Cousins goes inside 50. Gardner stands tall. At his feet, Kerr. Beautiful handball to Fletcher. Didn't sit for him. He was away for his third goal otherwise. Hayes did well. Through the legs of Del Santo. Runs back onto it. And can give it to McGough. Still Blake's by himself at centre half forward. He's gone into the ruck. And will get it now at ground level. Needs to get rid of it. Gives it up again. Chick. Stengline. Back to Chick. And they can push it out wide to Embley. Wide open for him. Pulls a player towards him. Goes straight up the middle. Gardner. Almost. Here's Fletcher again. Would like to get round onto his left. Gives it to Gardner through traffic. Gardner's kicked 4. Misses on this occasion. And again, Andrew Embley directing traffic. Sampi was right in front of Michael Gardner's lead there. Sampi led out of the way, left the space for Gardner to run into. Embley held up the kick. It was very clever play.
And what looks like his direct opposition, Andrew Embley and Goddard, really starting to labour terribly.
Cross to Blake, and it was a poor hand pass. He's done well, Blake. He's had a horror 90 seconds. He's gone in and given away a clean disposal to Revolt. Can't work out why they're booing him yet. Jones will fly and take them up. Braun, defensive 50, can go short to Banfield. It's like circle work. They went down scoreboard wing and it didn't pay off, and now they've decided to come down the commentary side. What's the lead? Where's it coming from? They're going to change direction. Hanson's on his own. He's 30 metres on his own in the middle of the ground. Slips, gets his tread, spears in a pass. There's Fletcher. He wants left side. Steps into the right. Can you believe it? Gone short. And Cousins. He was aching for his left side there, Chad Fletcher, on a couple of occasions, but a beautiful, deft right foot pass, and Cousins will stroll back from 40 metres out directly in front.
Just looking at the St Kilda players, really starting to labour it. Looking at Baker, he's just bending over, trying to stretch. Raphael Clark limping on a knee. Goddard looks like he's out on his feet.
Luke Ball stretching as well.
Ben Cousins gets the first goal of the second half.
It's got an ugly look about it, Willow.
It's the dominance of the midfield, Jace. You just can't lose so many players and expect to be competitive against a star-studded midfield that West Coast has running around on the park.
Jason Blake off on the phone, receiving some instructions. Has given him something around the ground, couple of poor decisions and been run down under pressure, but has had an impact around the ground. Ackland back into the ruck as Blake has a spell.
Well, Ackland was the experiment, really. They put him up forward for the first 5 minutes. Just didn't work. Brent Jones just dominant over him.
So Ackland back into the ruck. Fletcher pokes it forward once again. Awkward bounce for Cousins. McQualter with the job on him. Body on body, shoulder to shoulder. McQualter goes back. Been impressive this afternoon, the youngster. Done well under pressure at times. Jones was picked off by McGough. Here's a chance for Peckett. Looks up, there's some space this time for Gehrig, one-on-one. The kick, awkward. Blasted well, cut across the front. Got it to ground. Milne and Gehrig running out of space. Throw in, 45 out from the St Kilda goal.
Was that a mark to Brett Jones on the wing? Peter, would you have thought? Did he hold it long enough? He thought it was. He pleaded his case.
Well, the men in orange today, Tim, decided that that wasn't a free kick. And who am I to argue?
Looking like the Netherlands hockey team at the moment.
Never stopped him when you were playing.
Ackland, quick kick out of the pack. Has it bounced through? I think it has. Hasn't been touched. It's a goal. Kane Ackland out of the ruck contest. Got boot to ball in a hurry. Cleared the revolt contest and bounced through for St Kilda's third. They're 3-4. West Coast at 10-6, but played 9 minutes in the third.
Well, just make sure that he got into the contest, the big fella. Push Cox out of the way. Opportunity there, just slammed on his left boot. Nice work. He's rugging, he's roving, he's doing it all.
First goal for St Kilda since the 16-minute mark of the second quarter. Milne kicked that goal. Ackland hitting a much-needed one for the Saints, but here they go again. West Coast, the feed from Cousins to Fletcher to half-forward. Hansen. Well done, Stone. Judd. Brilliant. Strolls over the 50. Misses.
Just a sweeper. Fletcher, every time around the back of the pack, he just comes around onto his left foot, pumps it into the forward 50.
Possession 6 for Chris Judd. Del Santo. Half-forward revolt. Hunter's done a good job, mind you. It's been a very intriguing contest between those two. The work rate of Revolt is second to none. He just keeps on presenting, giving. When you look at his stats so far today, he's had the 10, he's had 3 marks, he's kicked a goal. He won't go down stats-wise as a feature game, but he leads by example. He has really worked tirelessly. And Ackland's going to get a free kick for a push out in the ruck contest against Dean Cox. So Ackland trying hard to lift this St Kilda team. He raised the slipper into it. Gehrig and Glass. Gehrig forced to spoil. Hunter close to the line, run over the line. Of course, Fraser Gehrig made his debut against St Kilda back in 1995 at the Wacker. A long time ago, and from mine, he would have been playing in defence, I'm sure.
Quint Lynch into the ruck. Staker now on. Dean Cox coming off for a quick break.
Chance here for the Saints to manufacture something. Lynch slapped it to the front towards the line. They go to ground. Hayes wrapped up by Jones. Ball held in, will have a bounce. Talk about Chris Judd, just 6 possessions, averaging 23 a game. He's had 4 in the first term, so he's touched it just twice since quarter time, and he's only been off the ground for 4 minutes the entire game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic tagging job by Baker. He just has not let him alone. Every time I look over to Chris Judge, he is within inches of him.
He's been telling he's ruffled Judd's feathers today. Not many have done that. Hayes from 50 towards the square. In the shadows, blasted well. Free kick or mark. Had it covered. McCoskey out in front of Cousins. Steps inside McQualter. Goes down the line to Stengline in good position. Kerr there as well. Kerr called him out of it well.
And did it very well, Stengline. Listened to the Kerrs and just got out of the way.
Down the line to Hansen. Picked off by Fisher. Goddard to Ball. Wrapped up by Stengline. Back to Fisher and Goddard again. Flips it out wide. Chance for Hayes. Goes to Revolt and he marks 65 metres out.
Just keeps presenting time and time again. His work rate as centre-half forward is fantastic.
Squares it up to Ackland in the true centre-half forward position. Gehrig at the top of the square, not moving, suggesting just bomb it in long, and he does. One-on-one, but look at the numbers zoned back to get across. Fraser Gehrig, no chance at all there. Butler fumbled, kept it alive, worked in tight to Braun. Now Lynch. The Eagles flying high on confidence. Punched away by Fisher. Through the middle. Hayes arrives. Sampi arrives. Heavy hit here and Ball. Good contest from those two players. They'll have a bounce in the middle of Subiaco.
Ball just kept his eye on it. That would be the ball. It's just gone straight in there, but Sampi did it very well. No head-high tackle. Just allowed him to come to him and wrapped him up.
It was a good, honest contest, wasn't it? Ackland down to McGough. Can't get the arms free, but the ball found its way to Luke Ball towards half forward. Revolt versus Hunter. Revolt punches it away. Nikoski there to tidy up again. Works off Milne. Cousins down the line. Clears him. Peckett goes back with the flight. Embley coming in the other direction. Spills to Fletcher. Wrapped up by Baker. Peckett at ground level won the football. Gave it out to McQualter. Here's Hayes around the outer wing. Goes to Revolt again. One-on-one with Hunter. Took him down. It'll be a free kick for the St Kilda skipper. Having to work a long way up the ground this afternoon in positions where he can't really do much damage.
It's almost watching the Baker-Judd contest with Hunter and Rewalt. Hunter is just doing a fabulous job. I mean, he's playing on an absolute superstar who's probably beating him on the day at the moment, but you just couldn't ask for any more.
He's had 11 possessions and 4 marks, Revolt. He's only had 4 of those possessions inside 50, where he can do the most damage. So I think John Worsfold would take those numbers at the moment. Awkward kick off the boot, and it's found Milne. So Stephen Milne can go back and become St Kilda's first multiple goal kicker if he can carry the distance from 45.
Nikoski just got caught flat-footed there. Probably surprised by an ordinary kick and wouldn't be expecting that.
He's kicked 20 goals, 6 this season, Stephen Milne. 1-1 this afternoon. It's for St Kilda's 4th goal. 50. Body language suggests a tone, and it is. Milne's got 2.
John Worsfold has reacted, I guess, for Adam Hunter probably getting a little tired on Rewalt. He's come off from a spell. Damien Atkins has now come onto the ground, going into the forward half for West Coast, and Hunter's position has now been taken over on Rewalt by Brett Staker. Again, it's showing that Dean Cox being off the ground is so important. Quinton Lynch is on the ball. West Coast starting to lose a little bit of momentum once again.
Back-to-back goals for the first time for St Kilda. Sampi appreciated that little give out from the Saints. Spills to Kerr. Spearing kick, lucky kick off the boot, and Hansen in the right place, doesn't get paid the mark. Ball spills, Embley up and under. It has travelled the required distance. Hudson knows no other way, but with courage back with the flight. To Peckett. Good chase, Braun, great chase, Braun. Got it! Ackland missed the shepherd. Braun just had eyes only for the tackle. That is brilliant chase and thoroughly rewarded. Braun is limping badly. Has to come off. Ankle, it looks like. He's in pain. Here's the kick. Outside. 25. Comes to Fletcher. Again goes right side. Stengline. Quick kick. Baker back with the flight. It's Ball, in fact, and he has been outstanding. Butler. Michael Brawny. A lot of pain. A lot of pain. More than just an ankle injury, the way he's reacting. He is in seriously a bad way, and the medical staff are, well, pretty much just letting him drive. in a heckany. Lockie Reed keeping an eye on that. That looks somewhat serious to Michael Braun. Right, fine. Here's Voss to half-foot again. An open forward line. Rare touch, Gehrig. Clear out, it bounced, no mark. Game umpire opinion for that crowd of 41,141. Michael Braun up and around. Here it is here.
I think he's just got a very severe corky.
Yep, that's the way. So that's well, it has kept a few out. Long view for the Dockers. Mr. Week severely corked thigh, and look at the pain there.
Well, I've seen guys out for 5, 6, 7 weeks with corks like that. Just real fierce force from a knee, just going through the quaddy, and they do absolutely hurt like hell.
18 minutes gone. Butler. Again, a St Kilda player slow to get up behind. Play might have been Thompson. Well done, Milne. Spilt the ball on Nikoski. Gathered by Cousins. Stenglein. Nikoski again can loop over the top to Lynch, who's lumbering after it. Then gives to Kerr. Down the line. Gardner. That's the high tackle against Stone. Banfield trying to come off. Peckett also wanting to come off for St Kilda. Lynch is off, so there's plenty happening.
Peckett's got a blood rule. He's got, well, I haven't spotted it yet, but he's got a fair bit of blood flowing from just above his left eye. Just there, a bit of a nick in the corner.
So he's trying to inform, they're trying to get the umpire's attention.
So why would he stop the play here, St Kilda, other than a tactical ploy? He's standing right next to the boundary line to stop and make it life tougher for Michael Gardner.
Looks like Banfield also has got the blood rule.
There it is, yeah. It was a head clash between those two veterans. Banfield staying on the ground, and now they're going to be another blood rule until he comes off. So a bit of tit for tat there, Banfield and Peckett. Thompson and Sampi come on, so that ridiculous situation has been taken care of. Here's Gardner going for his 5th goal from right on 50. Loves a goal, big Michael. Let's fly to the line. Almost a mark to Cox. Isn't? Everyone's stopped. They've still stopped. Now Ackland just rips it out of his hands. McGough wants the boundary line. Eventually it's over.
Well, the replay will tell the story on that, but every player has declared that Dean Cox has taken that ball. The umpire has called play on.
Banfield
so
going down into the rooms to get that eye attended to. Here's a chance. Cousins in close. Snaps it, goal! And puts it through. His second. In the wink of an eye, Ben Cousins roves it off the pack. West Coast extend their margin back out to 45 points.
Starting to see a fair bit of this from the West Coast. As far as their midfielders are concerned, they are now scoring goals. Before, just racked up possession after possession, but now they're actually punishing and hurting the scoreboard at the same time.
Coming into the game today, West Coast top 5 ball getters had kicked 31 goals. St Kilda's had kicked 18. Justin Peckett getting bandaged up. Drew Banfield's gone down the West Coast race into the rooms to get a stitch or two. The margin back out to 45 points. Ben Cousins with 2 goals in this 3rd term. Back in the middle, Cox over the top. Fletcher, Cousins. Towards half forward, Adkins versus Clark. At the back, a chance for Adkins at 50. Lost the handle on it, taken by Raf Clark. Handball to McQualter. Ball towards half forward. Gehrig. 1-on-1. Thompson. Gehrig. Boundary line. Throw in. It's been a tough day at the office for Fraser Gehrig. Been very frustrated. Complete contrast at the other end for West Coast. It's been a smorgasbord for their big men down forward this afternoon.
Throw in just outside 50. There is Gehrig and Cox. Double team the tackle on Butler. He's going nowhere. Let's go to Lockie Reed with an update on Michael Braun.
Still some concern for Michael Braun. He tried to stand up and walk up and down the boundary line, but took a few steps, was in a fair bit of pain and then went back in. They're still rubbing away, Tim, so we'll get an update at three-quarter time.
It looks serious. Hayes did well, just dropped it onto his boot. Glass to Kerr. Fane's got hard and gets away with it. The kick didn't have enough on it. Well done, Fisher, read it best. And it's in the best hands in the business. Nick Revolts. Well done, Fisher. Attacked the footy. Hansen waited. Paid the price.
Yeah, not too sure if we could blame Hansen for that. It was a pretty ordinary delivery from Kerr. Took the bounce and took the fade. Really had more options than that. Pretty ordinary kick from Daniel in this area there.
Nick Revolt. 45-degree angle right behind the kick. Slipped when he kicked it. He just barely made the distance. Just didn't quite have the traction. For some reason. Continues to be a target of some heavy jibing from the Eagle supporters. And why? I suppose they can do that, Peter. They're unbeaten. Their team's on top of the world.
Long ball in. Kerr and Goddard. Numbers again around the football for West Coast. Ackland, he's wrapped up by Chick. Connell in there as well. We'll have a bounce. 55 out from the St Kilda goal. They trail by 44 points. 23 and a half minutes gone in this third term. Lyndon Cox once more. Plenty of players around it. No one goal side of this contest, interestingly enough, and that's where the ball ended up going. Fletcher, McGough at ground level, scrapping hard. That's his forte. Stel Santo. Here's Peckett with a Carl Ditterich-style headband. Awkward bounce. Suits Revolt. Well done by Glass. He takes it through for a rush behind. There's Michael Braun trying to run that corky out. See the result there. He's pretty proppy. He's doing anything to try and relieve the pain. And here's Staker in the back pocket. Good run again from Chad Fletcher. Just gets by himself so often. 25th possession for him, and the 12th of those being completely uncontested.
And he's really going head-to-head with Lenny Hayes, who's leading it for St Kilda. He's now had 20 possessions, so it really is a free-for-all.
Fletcher also with 2 goals. Good work from Gehrig on the mark. It's spilt to Cousins. It's been that sort of day for Fraser. Back towards Fletcher. Lopes through the middle of the ground towards half forward. Well read from Raph Clark. Did well. Read it off the boot nicely. Tries to turn it around quickly. Goes to Milne. He'll look up and see Rewalt 15 metres out from goal. Leads to the pocket now. It was a beautiful kick from Stephen Milne. And Revolt, a rare opportunity inside 50 this afternoon to have a shot for goal. He's generally been taking those marks 60 to 70 metres out. Playing a bit deeper in this third term. And a chance to go back and kick his second goal. He's kicked 6-6 for the season. 1-1 this afternoon. Revolt. Misses.
The opportunities for St Kilda are coming from rebounds, which they're normally getting from their back half being on top. At the moment it really is because some of the West Coast players' deliveries have been pretty ordinary. The game's dropped off a little bit as far as intensity is concerned and their skill level.
You know your day's going bad when arguably your best player just can't find the goals. He has kicked one, he's had a couple of other opportunities that he'd normally gobble up. The Eagles are away again. Cousins through the centre of Subi. Adkins stood again. Raph Clark good at it. Spoiled it to Fisher. Changes direction. Gone wide underneath the scoreboard. On 26 and a half. Here's Revolt. Put it on the ground. Well done, Kerr. Got rid of his man. Then feeds a hand pass to Fletcher. Chick's on his own in the middle, demanding the footy. But Fletcher 360s and then left foot to half forward. Sampi just almost jogging after that football. Wasn't exactly explosive. The throw in half forward.
It's been a mighty defensive performance from West Coast. We mentioned at the start of the program, the last 4 weeks, it's the #1 defence, West Coast, against the #1 attack, St Kilda. St Kilda averaging 127 points a game for the last 4 weeks, and we're almost at three-quarter time, and they've booted 4 goals, 7.
Cox out the back to Daniel Chick. Running the wrong way and had a bounce. Kerr, centre square, off a step. Ordinary kick. Raph Clark this time drops it. So he and Adkins are sharing the duties for the slippery fingers. Hudson to McGough, who's going back the other way. Was Stone. The siren sounds, and it is a margin of 42 points. And Max Hudson, yes, the arms, his shoulder.
Adam Hunter back on the ground to go to Rewalt. Stake has now gone forward for the West Coast Eagles.
And the Saints salvage something from a tough day at the office. Ackland in the ruck against Cox. Goddard to run onto it for the Saints. Released a handball quickly. McQualter tumbles towards half forward. Gehrig harassed by Glass. Here comes Kerr, did well. Dished it off to Cousins. He and Fletcher have been supreme this afternoon. And out to McConnell on centre wing. To centre half forward. Stake at the target. Fisher with him. Got the fist to it. Del Santo read it off the hands of the contest. Pokes it to the wing. And finds ball to Gehrig. Glass drifts back. Fist it to the line. And as much as some of the players have racked up big numbers, some of the stories have been guys that haven't. Judd, just 6 touches, 4 of those in the first term. He's been reasonably quiet.
Have a look at this. Grant Thomas at 3/4 time getting Nick Rewalt to keep the head up. That's a message.
Over the top. At the back numbers for the Saints, Baker. Ended up with Hayes. Sold the dummy beautifully to Wembley. Runs to 55, Lenny Hayes. Long kick to the square. Which side of the post is it on? The wrong side for the Saints. Behind to Lenny Hayes, his first score for the afternoon. Played 1.5 in the final term. It's the Eagles by 41 points.
Kerr is allowed to stroll out of defence. To Cousins, this will be possession 24. Staker had a little go at Rewalt. Now up forward. McQualter. Start again. One of the bright lights on a pretty dim day for the Saints in his first game. Hudson had the shoulder taped up. Okay, moving all right. Baker. Six possessions for Baker. Make that 7, should I say. This Cousins, and this is an incident.
Fraser, yeah, just coming in, giving a little bit. Just a little niggle. Nothing wrong with that.
Didn't even get to the little, did it? Niggle at best. Attracts the attention. Here's Butler. Stolen by Ackland to Del Santo. Now the Saints can run through the middle. Blake. Bombs away. Rewalt bearing down on this contest. Knocked away by Nikoski. Comes to the back. Here is Rewalt. Can he gather? No. Nikoski, they're outnumbered here, the Eagles, but the Saints, good vision. Guerra, great vision. McGough marks, off one step, and kicks a goal. The 5th for the Saints.
Well, the big G train, Fraser Gehrig come to the bench. I'm not too sure if that's just not a message from his coach, Grant Thomas.
That was frustration, probably saying, what's the point? Don't stay out there. Don't do something stupid. We need you next week.
Correct.
Good vision by Guerra. Pete?
Well, it's amazing, considering he did go down very hard in third quarter, that his vision's still going, because he was star-eyed.
41,177. Fraser Gehrig gets the phone call. G'day, mate. Don't do anything silly, Fraser.
That's exactly what it is. You could read the lips.
I'm going to put you back on, but just be careful.
He's not inviting him out to dinner.
But not giving him a revive. They're just being sensible in his management. Settling him down. It's been a very frustrating day. The anger levels have been building. His ball goes towards half forward. Butler in over the top of it. Peck it on him illegally, said the umpire. Free kick to Sam Butler. Del Santo quiet as well for the Saints today. 14 possessions for him, down from his season average of 26 to this point in time. It's been hard work for the Saints all over the ground. Peckett lays some body on Butler. Clark tries to link up with Blake. Here's Fisher. A fumble. Stood up in the Staker tackle, did well. Handball missed the body of Blake though. Tries to paddle to the advantage of Hudson. He gathers inside the line from centre wing. Max Hudson wants an option. He's got Goddard straight across the ground and can use him now. It opens up. Rewalt standing at full forward. He leads. Goddard goes shorter. That mark will be paid to Guerra. So Rewalt now trots back to the top of the goal square. It's a mark, so he can't play on advantage.
Things are going beautifully for Guerra. Was it Goddard that actually cleaned his own player up?
Now the lead from Rewalt. And he's got it. 45 metres out. 7th mark for Nick Rewalt this afternoon, coming up for his 15th possession. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. It's all about timing, isn't it, Peter? He's just timed his lead beautifully. He timed it well when Goddard had the football, but then realised wasn't going to get it. Had to reload, go back to the goal square and try it all again.
And the contested marks were the impressive part about it, because he's been under heat all day. Hunter, Staker, anyone that's had a go at him really hasn't been soft on him. He's just a class act. Also considering he's had a broken collarbone coming back 2 weeks into the game.
From outside 50, just caught it on the instep. Misses.
Hunter lets him know about it too.
He's booted 1 goal, 3, Nick Rewalt. Far from St Kilda's worst this afternoon. 34 points the margin. Banfield goes short and finds McConnell. 10th possession for the debutant. McCoskey down the line. Over the head of Cox and Blake. At the back, Goddard tracks it back. And square it up. Well-weighted kick. Finds Baker. It's had Chris Judd's measure this afternoon. Has Stephen Baker. Now to Peckett. Milne leads to the pocket. Peckett heads in that direction. Good kick. Good pressure as well. And a chance now for the Eagles to repel. McConnell to Judd.
Judd just can't get a handle on it today. His ball squeezed out the back from Del Santo to McConnell again. Judd slow to get up behind play. He just wants this to end. Ralph Clark heard a voice out the back. It's Hudson. Baker, he's a long way from Judd, and Chris is happy about that. Blake, it is just not fluent. In fact, it's not fluent either way. I wouldn't think the West Coast Eagles would be that impressed with today's output. They kicked 11 goals and had 4 of those in 9-minute stretch in the first term. Ball inside 50. Back with the flight. Butler showed plenty of courage. Good give. It's a throw. It was a great give, but the umpire was standing 4 metres and directly in front. Give from Milne to Guerra.
I was just going to jump in and say the skills of the AFL players and the speed of handball is just delightful. That was just a bit too quick.
Can I ask you though? I mean, here it is here in replay. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not convinced the West Coast Eagles will be all that impressed with their performance. 11-7, and they've been pretty dominant. And St Kilda have been way off the mark today. Pete?
Look, Tim, I tend to agree with you. You know, they're showing patches, but again, it's not a full-quarter effort at all. They've backed off in the third quarter, and here again, just going through the motions. Not going through much at centre-half forward. Hanson off the ground. Maybe it's just a measure of looking after players.
Del Santo gives it everything. Touch and go. And mark taken by Cox. And they're away, West Coast.
More touch than go. McCoskey links up with Banfield. McCoskey under pressure. Slips the Milne tackle and comes away from half-back. Be happy with his return to the side this afternoon. Staker going in the boot was Embley. Fisher. He's got Blake forward to the football. Can go to 55. Jason Blake to the pocket. Milne's just slipped away from Banfield and marks. 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. And Milne a chance to go back and kick his third.
Well, West Coast have come out on the rebound of their back half twice. Failed to find a target at centre-half forward. St Kilda have rebounded and found forwards by themselves with metres to spare. And Tim, you'd be right, because knowing the coach of the West Coast Eagles, he wouldn't be happy about that style of play.
They have completely dominated this game. St Kilda have been off colour all day, and they've only kicked 11 goals for the afternoon.
Milne for his third. It was on his bike as it left his boot. He knew it was home. 3 goals to Stevie Milne. St Kilda's only multiple goal scorer. They have 6 for the afternoon. The margin 28 points, and that says it all. The look on John Worsfold's face.
just sum it up just nicely. He's very unimpressed with what's going on out there at the moment, John Worsfold, and he doesn't often show it.
We played 9.5 minutes in the final term. The margin 28 points. Well, you've seen not without an outside chance.
You've seen sort of sides come back from larger deficits. Have no doubt about that. St Kilda have an opportunity.
John Worsfold is an angry man, and normally he's pretty reserved in the coach's box, but he can sense that this team is certainly struggling. His team, Saints, are playing ordinary footy, and West Coast have certainly been not that impressive themselves.
And it's not over, is it? It's
Absolutely.
just not over. With 13 minutes left, as flat as St Kilda have been for most of the day, they're still within striking distance.
West Coast kicked 4 goals in the first quarter in 8.5 minutes. They've kicked 7 for the rest of the match.
Worsfold's noted that his centre-half forward position's a problem. Hansen warming up on the sidelines as we speak.
Yeah, not happy with Staker.
He gets there, just doesn't grab it.
Well, he was frustrated as well, and there's a player still down in the middle of the ground. I think it's Fisher. In fact, it's Del Santo. Butler back with courage.
Shoulder for Del Santo, cradling the arm.
And McConnell now is off, and here comes Hansen straight on. Good mark, Goddard for the Saints. Yes, the left arm, and head goes to Del Santo. He's going to have to go at it. They're breaking for him out wide. Voss. They're running St Kilda. The Eagles are the one on the back foot at the moment. Fiora took his eye off the footy. It went over his head anyway. Hunter attacked. Chick. Got to start running here, West Coast, because the Saints are just hanging on towards centre wing. Fletcher drops it. Could get it over the top to Hansen quickly. Staker did well. He was out of position. Punched it clear of Del Santo. Cox did the roving at centre half forward. Quick kick. Not clean. Hansen, was he held? Doesn't matter. Takes the mark. And they need... It's touched off the boot. It's touched off the boot. Well, from my eyes, initially, and I've got 4 of them, I thought it was touched straight away, but I'm sure the umpire, McLaren, did not signal touch initially. Doesn't matter, it's a throw up, 35 out. As umpire McInerney certainly didn't respond initially. The Saints are away, so a lucky break maybe for the Saints. McGough flat-footed, here's Chick. 60 out, stands in the tackle. Banfield, the Saints trying hard, Peckett. Back to Chick from Banfield, 60 out, good vision, steady kick, and Embley, not touched this time, he can go back from 40 metres out, and this will hurt any chance the Saints had of pulling this game out of the fire.
Well, we started to talk this game down, it just jumped up a cog. I think players just realised that yes, St Kilda could be a chance here. West Coast just lifted some of the senior players jumping in, Chick, Banfield, just to help along.
Andrew Embley, the great goal in the second quarter, coming back after leaving the ground on a stretcher after a heavy knock to the head. So he's kicked 1. 45 metres out. He's missed. We've only had 1 goal kicker since half-time. Ben Carson's kicked a couple in the third term.
Voss with the kick in. Goes to the back pocket and finds Fisher. Gehrig's still on the bench for the Saints. Fisher towards the wing. Up at the front was Fiora, ran himself under the ball. The back, Butler. Umpire said it bounced over the line for a throw in. So Andrew Thompson preparing to come back on for St Kilda. But Fraser Gehrig's still in the dugout. Blake against Lynch. Goal of the Saints would make it just a little interesting. Just haven't been able to put together ball movement today fluently. It just hasn't clicked for them this afternoon, St Kilda. They've laboured through much of their passages of play.
Well, you've got to admit, it is a very tough road trip coming up over to Perth and getting to Subiaco Oval.
Oh, no question. And look, we know they're undermanned and they've got some reasons for it, but they'd be disappointed so far with their performance. It just hasn't been as slick as the St Kilda side we know when they're up and humming along. But having said that, as we've mentioned, the West Coast Eagles haven't been much to write home about either.
I don't think they really wanted to get into a shootout, though, West Coast Eagles. I mean,
certainly
again,
not.
We're talking about the #1 defensive side on the ground or getting around the parks at the moment. And I think they've just led from that way. It was a scrap game. I think that's the way they were trying to perform today.
Cousins, Lynch, to half forward. Hansen against Fisher. At the back, Staker a chance. If he can get free of his opponent. Fisher in there again. Fletcher's been outstanding. Was that a throw? Play on call. Hansen looks up, assesses the options, decides he'll go inside 50 to the pocket, and Dean Cox. Influential all afternoon. As Hayes comes off, he looks to be labouring a bit as well. Thompson will come on. There's a chance for Dean Cox to kick his first goal this afternoon. He's booted 8-2 for the season. He's a good converter.
13 possessions, only touched the football about 4 times in the last half of this game. Very, very influential in the first half.
He's had 10 hit-outs to advantage today. The next best on the ground, 4 by Jason Blake. To cap it off with a goal. He does. Dean Cox gets his first. 15.5 minutes gone, final term. West Coast 12.880, St Kilda 6.945. Dean Cox comes to the bench, as does Brent Staker, to be replaced by Jones and Atkins.
Horsford is really looking after Dean Cox today. He's spent a lot of time on the bench. Quinton Lynch has been supporting him. He goes into the middle. But for a big man, his skills are absolutely beautiful. That is a great goal.
So Lynch goes into the ruck opposed to Ackland, and Lynch wins it. Cox sitting down after kicking that goal. Peckett, interesting give. Del Santo looks okay, the shoulder problem. McGough, hand pass inside to Thompson. Well done, Fletcher. Well, chick that past the footy, trying to block Thompson off and allow Fiora in, and the Saints are away. At half forward, kicked by McGough. He goes to longer option. Blake is the target. Doesn't take the mark. Milne loves the goal. Not so good on the hand pass. And now he's got a problem. Ball comes out the back. Blake again. Quick kick. Goal!
Opportunity really came from Daniel Chick, trying to be too much of a team man. He does it on occasions. Went to put the shepherd on, forgot the football. Chad Fletcher had already disappeared, thinking his teammate had the ball. Just disappointing here for him. Lucky not to be a free kick in that area. But he did well, the big fella. Great goal.
His first score for the season. Argent back to 31 points. We've played 17.5 minutes in this final term. 41,177 in this afternoon. Ball was taken high. He'll get a free kick. His 24th disposal coming up. But Goddard out wide. Goddard with a career high 24 touches this afternoon. Revolt. Hunter got a hand on it. Revolt to tidy up at the back. Hunter comes again, did well. Chick, handball smothered. McGough got it to Fiora. Kerr's got a fair piece of him. Chick assists in the takedown. We'll have a ball up. 35 out from a St Kilda goal. Just over 7 minutes remaining. It's been a tough slog for much of the day. The Eagles got a flyer. St Kilda tried to peg them back. Couldn't get score on the board. The Eagles managed to crack it open in the third term. The second term, rather. Snap at goal. Narrowly misses, hits the woodwork. It was a beautiful flying shot out of that pack by Mark McGough.
Just looked up, McGough, empty goal square, did the right thing, got the ball on very quickly. Just a little offline.
Argent back to 29 points. It was West Coast by 19 at the first change, 43 at half-time. It was that second term that really did the damage. After St Kilda had scrapped their way back into the contest, West Coast slammed the door shut on their fingers in the second term. Banfield goes long. Kerr the target. Del Santo in contest with him. Butler bumped off it. Spills to Brett Jones. Growing in stature as weeks go by. Brett Jones goes towards Judd. Baker has been all over him this afternoon. Wonderful performance. Judd just 7 possessions, 3 since quarter time. Stephen Baker's had 8 of his own. A few highlights for the Saints this afternoon. Ackland's tap through the hands of Thompson to Embley. Now to Fletcher. Pokes towards 50. Hansen runs onto it and takes it on the chest. 35 metres out. Tricky angle. Ashley Hansen booted a goal in the opening term. Chance to go back. He's 15th for the season. He's booted 14-6. He's a good finisher. That's the thing about their big men down forward, Willow. Cox, Gardner, Hansen, all good kicks for goal when they get the opportunity. They don't waste too many.
Yeah, it really has been a highlight, the way they've brought the big fellas on. This young bloke 2 or 3 years ago really struggled at WAFL level, but really has jumped up.
Tough to kick it after that wrap. Sure enough, he misses.
Look at Chad Fletcher again. His disposal was absolutely magnificent to Hansen, but he just comes around, he sweeps at the backs of packs. Possession after possession, racking them up. 29 possessions.
McWalter, this will be his 15th possession on debut. Cramp, I think, for Luke Ball. Good block. Cousins, stolen from Embley by Del Santo. A little bounce and then a step around Butler to centre half forward. Stone to Hayes. Went the pass. Probably not the best option. It was a poor kick. He was 40 metres out and running into an open goal and decided to change direction at last minute, Lenny Hayes. So, you're hot. Kerr, good gather. Close to the line. Look out, last, got a problem. 3-on-1, ball spills. McGough, intelligent, knocked it straight back to Blake. And here's Luke Ball again. This will be possession 26 to lead the Saints. He's at centre half forward. 21.5 minutes gone. We're into time on. Blake, play on. That wasn't the good option. Gone. Saw Nick Rebold leading up. Went to go, took half a step off his line, and the umpire just said, you're off and in trouble.
Why haven't you got back off the mark? You've got the free kick. You work quickly back off your mark to give yourself opportunity, space. Elementary football.
81 plays 52. We've gone 22 minutes.
Stengline receives from Embley. It's a game that hasn't reached many heights this afternoon. West Coast were great early. But as a contest, it's been an anticlimax. Cousins hangs on to it. Now he'll switch play. Big unit slipped away from Jason Blake as Judd comes off. Staker on. Hansen. Good grab. One-on-one with Nick Stone. Thought about coming inboard to Lynch again. This game's to stop to a walk. We've played 23 minutes. Fletcher has it.
He's basically stripped his forward line. Worsfold, Gardner off the ground.
Taking no chances. Staker's the man. He heads in that direction. Gets it on the bounce. Released the handball to Banfield. He went looking for Kerr. Over their head handball towards Cousins at 50. On the left. Under pressure from Hayes. Cousins goes for home. It floats. Just the wrong side of the post for the skipper. 2 goals, 1 for Ben Cousins. Boss brings it in quickly. He's favoured that side of the ground for much of the day. Finds Thompson. Comes inboard and finds Hayes at defensive 50. Former skipper straight up the middle to the current skipper, and he takes it on the chest. Wide open forward 50. Blake leads from the square now. He's got Ackland pushing forward on the wing. Goes further afield to Fiora. Set him a task one-on-one. It was a nothing option really. Butler did enough to just slap it to the line. It's Chris Judd sitting on the bench alongside Dean Cox and Michael Braun. Braun with a corky. Still in some distress there. I think it feels like it's got a house brick strapped to it at the moment, I'm tipping. Thompson. McGough. Some open space here for Fisher. Squares it up towards the top of the goal square. McWalter lurking at the back. Will it get that far? Nikoski. Wrapped up by Milne. Was he taken high? Play on. Scrapping in there hard. The West Coast defence. Stengline gets it to Lynch. And Lynch will come out wide and find Cousins.
Good kick too from Grinzel, Lynch and Cousins. This will be possession 30. Fletcher, possession 31. Embley made the mark. Ralph Clark hasn't been the worst one either for St Kilda.
And he's done it in a bit of pain too, because that left knee is giving him a little bit of discomfort watching him during the course of the day.
Embley called to play on. Kicks to a nest of players on the forward 50. Revolt back, forced to defend. Hanson went to kick it, gave it to McConnell. Good vision from the youngster. Could have blazed away at the goal square, but changed direction. And Jones will go back directly in front, 45 metres out. Impressive stuff from the debutant.
He's been a little bit slow across the ground, I thought, today, but really has shown enough to suggest he'll be in the lineup next week. Especially if some of the injuries are going to take a while to get them back on the ground. Braun being one of those.
Jones right behind it, directly in front. Goal umpire doesn't have to move. Of course, the big story, Peter Wilson, that'll be on the back pages of most papers tomorrow around the country, will be, no doubt, the investigation into the Chris Judd incident.
I have no doubt that it's a big story. You've got a Brownlow favourite that's under the spotlight, and you would be expecting everybody to talk about it. Probably the biggest story. The game has been okay, but no doubt is the story. Brett Jones loves a goal. All backmen do.
Second career goal for Brett Jones in his 16th game. The margin now 6 goals straight. 13-10 to 7-10. 26.5 gone in the final term at Subiaco. Kerr runs onto it. Handball partly smothered it. Found its way to Sampi. Brushes a tackle. Gives it to Jones. Got a taste for it in the front half. Goes towards Staker. The fist away from Hudgton. Ball trickles out. Forward 50 for the Eagles. Inside 50s this afternoon. Pretty level, 44 to 39. It's just been the quality of inside 50, if we can put it in those terms, Willow, where the difference has been.
Yeah, it has been, but I can't say the same thing for this quarter because, again, the ball's been coming into the forward line a little ordinary, making it very hard for the forwards to be able to grab the ball.
Lake over the top, Goddard. It's been a shining light for the Saints today. Career high 26 touches now for him. Out in front of Fisher. And there's the siren. West Coast stretched their unbeaten streak to 8 straight wins, with a pretty comfortable victory over the Saints. They got away to a great start. St.Kilda steadied. West Coast put the foot down in the second term. It was 19 points the margin at quarter time, 43 at half time, 42.